Hello, everybody. My name is John Aaron Avalos, and I am a nursing student at Indiana State University in the bachelor's program. This presentation is for Nursing 444, Population-Focused Community Health Nursing. The title is Don't Allow Hypertension to Become a Crisis. In hypertension, there are certain populations at risk. People between 40 to 59 years old. Women are at a higher risk after age 60, and that's related to sex hormones and oxidative stress. African Americans are more hypertensive than others related to anomalies in the metabolism of sodium and the regulatory systems. As people get older, plaque builds up in the arteries blocking the flow of blood. The plaque buildup eventually increases the pressure of the blood, compromising the walls of the arteries, causing a rupture. Ruptured arteries could cause blood clots, embolisms, or a stroke. The learning objectives for this presentation: understand what is hypertension, learn the signs and symptoms of hypertension, know what the blood pressure numbers mean, be familiar with the risks of untreated hypertension, identify steps to control hypertension, and comprehend the barriers to controlling high blood pressure. I'm going to pause the tape at this time for you to click on this link for 10 questions on hypertension. It's a pre-test. What is blood pressure? Arteries carry blood throughout your body. The pressure of the blood pushing against the walls of your arteries is the blood pressure. High blood pressure, also called hypertension, happens when the force becomes too powerful. Blood pressure readings can vary depending on the time of day, if you are dehydrated, nervous, or stressed out, when you sleep and when you wake up, when you are active, and as you get older. When blood pressure stays high over a long period, it can cause damage to different parts of your body and some serious long-term complications. What do the blood pressure numbers mean? It's measured in two numbers. The systolic blood pressure is the top number, and that measures the blood pressure in your arteries when your heart contracts. Diastolic blood pressure measures the pressure in your arteries when your heart rests. What is considered high blood pressure? Normal blood pressure is considered 120 over 80. Hypertension is having a blood pressure continuously over normal. You have high blood pressure when your blood pressure is 130 over 80 on several separate occasions. Blood pressure can be normal, elevated, stage 1, or stage 2. What are the risk factors for hypertension and high blood pressure? Your age, race, low activity level, family history, obesity, stress, low potassium levels, too much sodium intake, chronic health issues such as diabetes, kidney disease, and sleep apnea. High blood pressure signs and symptoms. High blood pressure usually has no warning signs or symptoms, and many people do not know why they have it. Measuring your own blood pressure is the only way to know whether you have high blood pressure. The U.S. Preventative Services Task Force recommends that a healthy adult get a first blood pressure check at age 18. If your blood pressure is normal at that time and you do not have diabetes or other risk factors, you should then get your blood pressure checked every year. You should also be checked more often if you are at risk for high blood pressure. Your healthcare provider may suggest a different screening schedule if you have other health conditions. Hypertension can cause heart attack, heart failure, stroke, or kidney disease. Again, over time, high blood pressure damages blood vessels. This damage is called arteriosclerosis and atherosclerosis. These conditions increase your risk not only for stroke, but also heart attacks and kidney disease. Heart attack, which happens when the blood supply to your heart is blocked and heart muscle begins to die without enough oxygen. The longer the blood flow is blocked, the greater the damage to the heart. Heart failure is a condition that means your heart can't pump enough blood and oxygen to your other organs. Stroke is when high blood pressure causes the arteries that supply blood and oxygen to the brain to burst or be blocked, causing a stroke. Brain cells die during a stroke because they are not getting enough oxygen. Stroke can cause serious disabilities in speech, movement, and other basic activities. A stroke can kill you. Having high blood pressure, especially in midlife, is linked to having poorer cognitive function and dementia later in life. Learn more about the link between high blood pressure and dementia from the National Institutes of Health's Mind Your Risks by clicking this link. Kidney disease. High blood pressure causes damage to the kidneys by injuring the tiny blood vessels that filter the blood. How can you prevent hypertension? Lifestyle changes. Getting at least 150 minutes of physical activity each week, that's about 30 minutes a day, 5 days a week. By not smoking. Eating a healthy diet, including limited sodium intake and alcohol. Keeping a healthy weight and managing your stress. Nutritional changes. Certain foods increase blood pressure. Certain foods can lower blood pressure. Gaining weight increases your blood pressure. Losing weight lowers your blood pressure. The DASH diet is recommended for people who have hypertension. It stands for Dietary Approaches to Stop Hypertension. The good foods to eat. Eat more fruits, vegetables, low-fat dairy foods. Cut back on foods that are high in saturated fat, cholesterol, and trans fats. Eat more whole grain foods, fish, poultry, and nuts. You should avoid frozen foods, salty and sugary foods, caffeine, alcohol, and red meats. There are medical treatments, diuretics, vasodilators, beta blockers, alpha beta blockers, angiotensin II receptor blockers, angiotensin converting enzyme inhibitors, calcium channel blockers, central acting agents. Holistic therapies can help with hypertension. Lowering your stress helps keep your blood pressure normal. Try mind-body exercises like yoga and Tai Chi. Listen or make your own music. One study found that playing music had benefits just as good as physical activity. Hypertension often lasts a lifetime, so following a careful management plan is essential. Keeping your blood pressure under control can lower your risk of heart disease, stroke, and kidney failure, and can improve your quality of life. Barriers to managing hypertension: misinformation, transportation, non-adherence with medications, lack of insurance, money, side effects, living in a rural area, and lack of support. Solutions to some of the barriers: pharmacy delivery services, education, labeled pill boxes, and follow-up by the provider. Community health nursing. There's been some successes, and I wanted to point those out here. In 2007, Black Barbershops was created, which was a successful community outreach program that taught volunteers how to take blood pressure, and they did so in the barbershops. Since then, Black Barbershops has screened more than 30,000 men in over 500 barbershops in 38 cities, with a goal to screen more than 500,000 for hypertension. Another success story is the NHLBI that created heart healthy programs. Through evidence-based practice and research, worksite initiatives were implemented to address overweight or obese employees. Through environmental changes, lunchrooms provided healthy choices and time was added during the workday for physical activity. These outcomes were positive. Although not easily measurable, community-based hypertension programs may have contributed in some way to a reduction in myocardial infarction and stroke over the past few decades. Here are some additional resources for you to learn more about high blood pressure and hypertension. Here is another link to a post-test. Click on the link and it'll take you directly to it. Thank you everybody for listening to my presentation.